Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro,
I'm Valeria.
and we are Leftover
Leftover
Stardust. We are a married pair of Divination Consultants that have been together for 6 years and practicing individually for 8 years. So we have lots of experience together doing this.
Welcome to our first YouTube video. Today we're gonna do something that maybe you have seen already online called Pick a Pile, but today it is called Pick a Pentacle because we got 3 stars in the middle here that you could choose from. I'll show you in a little bit a close-up of the stars so you can see more and what you vibe with, but we are going to explain what we're gonna do.
All right, yeah, so today we have a Pick a Pentacle reading, and so what that's going to look like is that we have our 5 decks here. This is the Everyday Witch, the Queen Alice Tarot, the Trip and Wait, the Osho Zen, and the Enchanted Map. And so the different pentacles are each going to have 15 cards assigned to them. And so we're going to have from each deck going to be drawing 3 in order as such. Each of the 5 cards are going to be read and then put together as a singular message as the cards for one of these pentacles here. And then we'll go on to the next one. The next pentacle will have, again, 15 cards, 3 from each deck, and we'll read them each in turn and then move on to the next.
Yep, so essentially it's going to be 3 groups of 5 cards together, and it's going to have kind of, we'll see like more of a collective message. And yeah, I think before we get into showing you the stars more up close, we kind of want to explain why we chose today's question. So these first 5 cards you see here kind of explains more in depth about maybe a situation you kind of resonate with. You want to go ahead and explain, Alejandro?
Yes, okay, so these are the 5 cards that we pulled in regards to what question, situation that we're going to be doing readings on today. And so, as you can see, we've got the 10 of Wands here, the 5 of Swords, the Magician, the Adventure card, and Flying. And so the message that we have come up with based on this is that today's reading should be on how to make sure that in your daily life you don't get overwhelmed with the more mundane or tedious tasks, and you're able to maintain a more adventurous spirit and being able to incorporate things that you enjoy doing and thriving into your life.
Yes, because as you see here with the 10 of Wands and the 5 of Swords, there are expressions of being like overwhelmed. You could possibly feel overwhelmed or maybe exhausted by what you're currently going through. You got a lot going on right now. And so with the Magician and the Adventures, that's very much like paving your own path and maybe clearing some of these obstacles so that not only do you not feel overwhelmed, but it's about staying on top and that you're thriving. You know, all these 3 cards here, they all have very like confident, vibrant figures, and that's something that we want you to feel. And this is hopefully gonna give you some good advice depending on what your situation is.
Mm-hmm. So you can see the 10 of Wands feels overburdened. The 5 of Swords to me feels like, oh, everything's kind of gone up here and into a mess. The Magician is about reclaiming that kind of sense of control and being able to make your own way on your life. The Adventure is about kind of going out there. And the Flying card, of course, is, as you were saying, like clearing those obstacles and being able to maintain a higher perspective and just being able to enjoy that, being able to fly in the sky. It's nice and clear. As you can see, also, there's lots of rainbow imagery in these 3 cards, where these 2 are a little bit more drab.
Perfect explanation. All right. So now this is going to be the part where you get to tune in more. I'm going to bring the stars up close. The first set of cards is going to be represented by this glow-in-the-dark star. It's very reminiscent of my childhood, of having these on my child bedroom ceiling. Love to have that in our apartment here. That'd be awesome. Pile number 2, or set number 2, is going to be represented by this cute little origami green star. And then set number 3, or pentacle number 3, pick a pentacle, is going to be this Obsidian Star. It's gorgeous. Look at that sheen. All right. So we'll give you a moment to think about it. I'll actually put this all 3 on my hand just so you can see up close and maybe compare. Ooh. All right. Pause the video if you want to tune into the energy of the stars of the pentacles. And once you have picked your pentacle, just click on the timestamp of whatever pentacle you chose. Yeah. All right. See you then.
All right, and welcome back. You're here because you have picked the glow-in-the-dark star. So we're going to jump right into it here.
All right, so for the Everyday Witch, we have the 4 of Swords.
Queen Alice, we have the Judgment card.
For the Triple Weight, we got the Queen of Swords. For the Osho Zen, we have the Lovers. And for the Enchanted Map, we have the Listening with beautiful elephant. Just give us a moment while we look at these cards, see what kind of message comes up.
This is the part where we're obligated to say, interesting.
All right, so starting off with, I think the cards are suggesting that you need to maybe take a step back. I feel like there's a lot of noise in your environment right now. With the Judgment, the horn is blaring, yes. The listening with the music notes. I just feel like there's a lot of noise happening, and with the 4 of Swords and the Queen of Swords, it's definitely saying you need to take time for yourself if it's possible. I don't know what's going on in your life, but really reflect on maybe what kind of information you're receiving, because the Queen of Swords right here is all about this discernment. And with the Lovers, it could represent other people, loved ones in your life, but the Lovers also represents balance. It's not just about, it's not just like one-sided, right? So you need to put more time into yourself in moving forward. Is what I see.
Yeah, definitely. So the 4 of Swords is very much about like rest and all of that. The Judgment is, I definitely am drawn to that. The trumpeting white rabbit here, which is also a call on its own. And so I think with all of that in mind, and the Queen of Swords being a little bit more of a discernment card, as you were saying, is it's learning what in your environment is maybe making a little bit more mental noise in your life than might be beneficial to you. I think with the Lovers card is it's definitely like it's not just about other people or anything like that. It's definitely like a sense of like harmony within yourself as well. And the listening there too is I almost see like a sense of like self-care rather than getting bogged down by the noise around you. Listen to the music rather than the noise.
That's a great way to put it. I also see too, with the Queen of Swords, that's a lot of mental energy, but with the Lovers, there's the heart. So I get very much the saying of like try to have your head and heart be in harmony, have as best as possible. And do you want to move on to the next set of cards?
We'll take another second here looking over it.
I also kind of get with this with the bunny. It's like he's like trying to like silence the noise. He's like silence, you know, like how like when you're in crowds or at events, there's always someone like ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Or but this time it's just kind of like it's like the cards are like stop, you know, and you're just trying to be like, okay, I need to like
it's
chill
making
out
way.
and settle
Make
down.
way.
Yeah.
Make way for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
That's good.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add before we move on?
Yeah, I think we can move on.
Okay. Let's see.
So
We'll do it in order.
Second set of cards here.
We have the Seven of Cups with the Everyday Witch.
Wheel of Fortune.
With the Queen Alice. Ooh, the Nine of Cups with the Trip and Wait. The Innocence with the Osho Zen. And then we have the Wide Open.
From the Enchanted Map.
Yes. Alright, give us a moment.
Okay, so for this second set of cards for the Glow-in-the-Dark Star, we have the Seven of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Nine of Cups, the Innocence card, which ties into, it's the number of the Sun card in most decks, but the Osho Zen isn't as similar to most tarot decks as others might be. And then the Wide Open card for the Enchanted Map. And so, right off the bat from this, with the Seven of Cups, is that brings to mind the Queen of Swords from the previous set, of having that discernment of, like, there's all these opportunities, there's these options, there's these different things that you could choose to pursue. And so it's just having that kind of mental clarity on what you would like to chase after, what you might be better at, what might be a better opportunity. It just feels like there's a lot of options there going forward. The Wheel of Fortune, I think, is interesting here with this, because this gives me, with the clock here, it says tarot, for this, is that it reminds me of like a spinner wheel. You know, like you flick the arrow and like, where does it land? Almost on that. So again, that ties into that feeling of like, these are options, these are different things that could be equally opportune for you in this time to pursue. The Nine of Cups is it's the sense almost of being able to have what you want. Like the whole thing with storybook genies is, that classic line of, your wish is my command, and everything. And there's an aspect of that to the universe itself, even, with everything. If you pursue your dreams, if you follow that that energy that can carry you forward, I think that ties into the innocence there too, of not having to force this decision. This feels very much like a following the flow of things rather than barreling through into the next phase, next chapter, whatever you're pursuing or can pursue. There's the openness there of being willing to open yourself and your opportunities to what comes in the future and everything, and just recognizing that in this time maybe you have a bit more option than you thought you might. That's what I see from that.
Yeah, and I see with the Wide Open and the Wheel of Fortune is like, this is the time to be open-minded and accepting these opportunities and really weighing your options. I do see with the Nine of Cups and the innocence is that it's very much about wanting to it has a lot of like delightful enthusiasm energy, and I think it's very much telling you about like, the witch in this card has her hand on the cup that has the heart floating. So with the Nine of Cups, that's the card of desire and something that you've been wanting for a while. So maybe this is about, reconnecting with a passion of yours that maybe you put on the back burner for a while. And the innocence, I kind of see it kind of similar to the Fool card, or maybe even like the Six of Cups, where it's like you're reconnecting to something that you once loved or you've just been wanting to do for a really long time. And with the Wheel of Fortune, the wide open, it's saying like this is the time to do it. This is the time to be open to receiving this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think another little bit of the imagery that catches my attention here is with the Innocence card. He's got the Praying Mantis there on his hand. And obviously Praying Mantis here is green, and the figure in the wide open card is wearing a green dress. And so for me, that feels like a little bit like what you were saying of reclaiming a passion. It's like it's this thing that you've revisited, that you're revisiting or can revisit. And it's almost just enjoying it for what it is, and recognizing the potential that this particular thing has for you.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so this Osho Zen card is the Sun card for other tarot decks, and I think again in conjunction with the Nine of Cups, it's very much about being optimistic, being positive, choosing maybe something that is just gets you feeling all giddy inside, and that's what I feel for you.
I definitely think it's something that should be able to bring you delight. I definitely get like delight energy for that.
All right, you ready for the next set?
Sure. This is the final set of cards. This one.
So we got the Nine of Cups for the Everyday Witch, the Knight of Cups, the Devil for the Queen Alice, the Four of Swords again, but with the trip and wait, the Compromise, interesting, for the Osho Zen, and the Ghostlands for the Enchanted Map. All right, just give us a second.
Okay, so for this last set of cards, for the Glow in the Dark Star, we've got the Knight of Cups from the Everyday Witch, the Devil card from the Queen Alice, Four of Swords from the Trip and Wait, the Compromise card from the Osho Zen, and the Ghostlands card from the Enchanted Map. And so what I see with this is, with the Knight of Cups, is it's chasing that passion, chasing your heart, is very much what the Knight of Cups is about. I think with the Devil going forward, I like to whenever the Devil card comes up, I like to reassure people that it's not just about the devil of ill repute and everything. It's more about being locked into things and being chained. You'll see chains a lot in the Devil card, across different decks and everything. I feel that it's more about not being restricted, whether that's restricting yourself, or a lot of times it can be like addiction or anything of any kind. It can be negative patterns. But what I see from that is chasing heart is always going to come with some danger. But like with the D and the twins here and the Jabberwockies, it's I see it as, even if one thing doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that the other won't. It's almost like the Jabberwocky is deliberating over which twin to go after first, and the twins are both pointing at each other like, not me, pick him, not me. And so I think with that is it's, even with all the options that have been reflected in the past sets of cards, it doesn't mean everyone is going to be the right one for you. But there's, I think with the Knight of Cups is it's worth pursuing what you feel is worth pursuing, but one of the messages that I really like with the Devil to assign is don't get into anything that you can't get out of. And so I think what that is, that applies to that. The Four of Swords I see is like, if something doesn't work out, then just take a step back and reevaluate. And if you recall, we got the Four of Swords previously from the first set of cards. And that would be, I believe, in here. So from the Everyday Witch, we also have the Four of Swords. And then another point as well with that is I mentioned it would be good to... Hey, Teeny, stay down. It would be good to listen to the music and not the noise. And so in this Four of Swords from the Trip and Wait, he's listening to music. You can see music notes here. He's got some records down here, including a Doors record. Fantastic. Zini, stop.
Oh my god. Our
Zini.
cat is like
Yes, he's
her.
tangling himself in it. Zini, stop.
It's okay.
It's okay. Anyway, follow the music, listen to the music, reevaluate is what I get with that. If something doesn't work out, just reevaluate. Take a step back. Don't get into things that you can't get out of.
Sorry about that. Our cat was
Our cat is meddling.
meddling with the reading.
Son of a cat.
Son of a cat. All right. Anyway, what were you saying, my love?
All right, so I went over the Devil card. The Four of Swords, as I started to say, depending on where we cut this, is the Four of Swords is we got it previously over here with the Everyday Witch. And the Four of Swords here, I believe, is saying to reevaluate with the whole Devil card and everything. Don't get into things that you can't get out of. Just take a step back and be able to reevaluate. Again, find that music, the thing that brings you passion and joy, and imagination too. The Trip and Wait obviously is very psychedelic, and you can see some of the records here as well. Very much from the hippie era, the psychedelic era. So it's just finding the things that bring you positivity and joy going forward and everything. It's just finding that again. I think with the compromise, which looks like the Lover's card over here, you can see the reflection there in the compromise card as well. And I think with that, again, it's just reevaluating and then finding those choices again. You've got the two twins here, and these look very much like twins here. So it's just finding, even if these two options work, even if this thing didn't work out, reevaluate, find something else, and maybe that'll work. And then you're able to repeat that going forward as well. The Ghostlands card here is, as much as the options as you may have, the Ghostlands card is a little bit of a caution to not get too far ahead of yourself. Ghostlands is about staying in the present. The Ghostlands would be if you're living in the past or living in the future. So the Ghostlands card is very much like a caution of stay in the present. The present is where you can take action. And so again, in pursuing your passions and your heart, just take the steps in the moment that you can. And I think, again, just don't get anything you can't get out of, and reevaluate as you go forward if you need to.
I think tying in with the Ghostlands and the Devil, the Devil can represent like maybe some past hurts or, maybe limiting beliefs that's preventing you from moving forward. Again, it could also represent what Alejandro said about future things that you get too ahead of yourself, and then you get in a situation that you're like, okay, well, I can't uncommit myself into. But I see a lot of positivity and support. Numerologically speaking, there's a 6 here. The Devil is 15, so 1 + 5, that's 6. And then if you notice here with the Lovers, that's another 6. Again, the number 6 represents support. So I think overall the cards are saying that they support in whatever option or opportunities you choose. The Knight of Cups is about going after what you're passionate about. But it's just reminding you to take that time to thoroughly reflect and relax and be present, really meditate on what you want to pursue next. And yeah, I think it also, if you notice here, the compromise and the Lovers, again, it has that kind of reflection of a person So it's just making sure that your inner world with the Four of Swords is kind of you're kind of matching that into your physical life is important. So very much staying in the present, not worrying about your past if you have some stuff in the past, and maybe with a compromise if you're still on the fence about what opportunities, if you have multiple opportunities, you know, taking baby steps and then seeing which one maybe takes you farther. And yeah,
I think too, what you said before about the having your head and your heart in alignment as well. I get that too with the like the duality and everything, with the compromise, the devil, the lovers, and everything. Is I definitely get like making sure that your, as you were saying, your inner world is in alignment with what you want to choose going forward and everything. I think with this too, it's like sinking into the music, sinking into what brings you pleasure and joy and delight, and staying there with it. I think being present with the music, you know, when you're listening to music that you're deeply connected with, you're not waiting for the end of the song. You're not thinking about other parts of the song necessarily. It's you're fully present with the music, and I think that speaks to a person's inner world as well. If you're really in tune with what you as a person want, you're gonna be able to enjoy things a lot more fully.
all right, that's it for the glow in the dark star. I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you'd like a personalized reading, you can go on our website, leftoverstardust.com. If not, we'll see you hopefully in the future for another collective reading video.
Yeah, you can also find us on Instagram. And remember, we are all leftover Stardust.
All right. If you chose the cute little origami star, now it's your turn. We're gonna start off pulling from the Everyday Witch, just the Knight of Wands. From the Queen Alice, we have the Two of Pentacles. From the Trip and Wait, we have the Six of Swords. And from the, interesting, from the Osho Zen, we have the Lovers. And then, last but not least, from the Enchanted Map, we have the Mountain. Interesting. Alright, just give us a moment. We'll be right back. Alright. So, what I notice here with the Mountain and the Knight of Wands, these can represent, and specifically with the imagery of the two cards, obstacles. I think with the Two of Pentacles, and specifically with this imagery, it's about facing these obstacles, you know, looking at being direct with whatever you're struggling with or whatever's happening in your life that is causing this, either, you know, if it's a mountain, it's something that you can't really avoid, right? You see mountains in wherever you go when you're driving. If there's, you know, it depends on your environment, but it's pretty hard to be able to avoid a mountain, and it just seems like there might be an issue that you've hit a point that you really just have to face it head on.
You can't ignore a mountain.
Yeah. And I think with the Lovers and the Six of Swords, I feel like, you know, maybe you've been avoiding it because you don't want to see, you know, the Six of Swords is about like an emotional journey. So maybe there are other people involved and you just don't want to face it because you want to see the best in people. And I think with the Lovers and the Two of Pentacles, there is that sense of duality and needing balance. If you notice, there's, you know, two of the same person. And I think in order to move forward, you really do have to like face this and give yourself the most equal opportunity that you need in order to move forward. And if you also notice numerologically, there's 6 for the mountain, 6 for the lovers, and 6 for the 6 of Swords. So that really means this issue has to is related to maybe the support that you have in your life, or you don't have support in your life, and it's you know, maybe this is a bigger issue where you need to reach out, or it's a situation that maybe the people around you are causing an issue, and that's something you may need to leave. It just really depends on your situation, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with all that. I also get the feeling that this could be an actual person, just based on how many faces we have here. Like literally, the mountain, the obstacle here, literally has a face. You've got Alice facing herself in the looking glass there. You've got the 2 lovers there that are mirrored essentially. So I could definitely see this being in reference to a particular person. And then along with the mirrored aspects as well, you notice these 2 figures are like facing opposite directions. But like, look, he's got his broom here. They've got their broom here, and he's got the person has the punting staff there with the 6 of Swords. And yeah, I definitely think that there's a sense there of like having to face facts and everything, and I kind of get the sense that this could be in reference to an actual person. Like with the support network, maybe it's a particular person that it could be that they need support and you have to go to them. It could be that you know, this person should be supporting someone in the situation and they're not. So there's definitely different ways that could go, but I agree with the support being a crucial issue for these cards.
Yeah, I mean, I think in regards to the question of how can you thrive, right? You know, these left cards kind of represent your struggle, and so maybe the right cards is suggesting that this issue is a lot bigger than you, and that you are going to need to reach out and find people to help support you in getting through this obstacle and whatever this is. Yeah. You ready to move on to the next set of cards? All right.
We've got the 10 of Wands there for the Everyday Witch, the Page of Wands for the Queen Alice, the 3 of Wands for the Trip and Wait, the Ordinariness card for the Osho Zen, and One Ring Circus for the Enchanted Map. So we're going to look these over again, and we'll resume once we have a few minutes to think about it. Alright, so, as we said, 10 of Wands, Page of Wands, 3 of Wands, so lots of Wands energy here that's about action. You got the Ordinariness card there and the One Ring Circus. So, kind of right off the bat, what I was getting from this is, with the action, there's a lot of solo activity here. The 10 of Wands, this figure is making their way up a cliff, which we, of course, had the Mountain card right there. And then directly underneath this one, we've got the Knight of Wands with the mountain in the background. So there's definitely a sense of, like, making your way up that mountain. The 10 of Wands is about burdens. And so that definitely feels like a lot of, like, that kind of, you know, it could be baggage of any kind. It could be responsibilities. There's a lot of things that could be weighing you down. I think with the Page of Wands, it's, for me, what this feels like is like doing the best that you can. The Page of Wands is like, it's a learning process, but learning through action. Mm-hmm. And so to me, that speaks to like trying one's best against whatever obstacle this may be. The 3 of Wands here. 3 of Wands is looking out over an oceanscape. You see the ship in the background here. That also harkens back to the Six of Swords here with the boat. And so I think what that is, the Three of Wands is taking a little bit of a higher perspective on things. And the Threes is about, it's almost similar to the like support energy, but it's more about gathering close those that would be the support. So the Three is more about like a communal aspect.
And relating to that imagery, you can't really run a ship on its own. You have
absolutely.
to have a crew. And so to me, with the number 8 and the ordinariness, is that there is, in conjunction with the Ten of Wands, is that there's just an abundance of things to do, and it's just, this is definitely suggesting please ask for help. If you can find some kind of group, if you don't have anyone close right now in your life, find someone or some group where they experience similar things to you. It's very important that you don't not only go through this by yourself, this journey, but it's if you can create an environment where you can either feel like you can share responsibilities, or if you really aren't in that situation where you can, maybe as much as possible try to drop some things in your life so that you can better clear a path for you and you can live a simpler life,
I agree. Yeah, I definitely see that same kind of message here with the Ten of Wands being overburdened, right? Well, you see the character in the Ordinariness card just has a single basket. So it's like that whole simplification process. And then thank you for saying that, by the way. That's very well put. The One Ring Circus card here from the Enchanted map is very much similar to the you can't run a ship. Well, One Ring Circus, you can't run a circus with just one ring, one big top, one performance. That's not a circus in that case. And if you notice, they're standing on a rocky outcropping, and then you've got the Three of Wands figure here standing on the edge of a cliff. So there's very much that sense of solo, like just being without others. And so I think, like what Valeria was saying, is there's definitely a need for community here that's being reflected, like asking for help, not doing everything on your own if you don't have to. Being willing to ask for help. So.
All right, we're going to move on to the next set of cards.
Right. So we've got the Six of Pentacles there for the Everyday Witch, the Five of Cups for the Queen Alice, the Ace of Wands for the Trip and Wait, Letting Go for Osho Zen, and the Compass card for the Enchanted map.
Alright, just give us a moment. Alright, so with the Compass, the Six of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Letting Go, I see very much, again, of you needing to ask for help. The Six of Pentacles is very much like another 6 card asking for support. The Letting Go is interesting because it's with the number 8, and the 8 is with abundance. And to me, it's like there's a lot going on in your life, and it's definitely saying that you need to just let go of some of the responsibilities, hand off the baton to someone else in your life, even if it is scary to lose control, because you want to take
yeah,
over?
to like even if it's a little bit out of your nature to want to loosen your grip on the control that you have in your own life and everything. It's sometimes there's a saying, like, sometimes you have to let go to get a better grip. And so I think with that feels like there's some part here that almost needs to like chill out with this. It just like it feels like there's a tension for sure. Like like just stress overall. And so for this to be, you know, trying to loosen that grip, trying to kind of like pass that baton, like you said, to ask for help and everything. I think it's with the Five of Cups here. In most decks, really, the Five of Cups is a more passive card where, you know, the Three Cups have spilled, and it seems like more of like a morose energy. For this, it's very much like like throwing a tantrum essentially, where it's upsetting the table and everything. So from that, I definitely get like there's too much stress building up, and there needs to be a shifting of responsibilities.
I think so, because it's like if you've been doing things on your own for a long time, it's perfectly valid to be frustrated, but it's not worth, you know, like what Alice is doing in the picture, throwing everything away because you are frustrated. It's important to, if you do have a sickle, it's important then to keep going, but it's not healthy for you to keep moving forward, doing it all on your own. It's just too much for you, and I hope that you can find someone or something to be able to, you can feel more at peace with dropping some responsibilities if it's possible for you, just so you can be more at peace and just more focused in a more like healthy, peaceful manner about whatever you're driven to do. Because there is a lot of drive, but there is, you know, also a lot of struggle that I see, and it just feels like you're hard on yourself a little bit. So
yeah, I think too something that just came to me is like with the Five of Cups, you know, all of these teapots and teacups and everything are spilling, and the letting go card here, it's, you know, the water is running off the leaf, and so there's definitely a sense of like, rather than all of this being thrown and the liquid being, you know, tossed around like that, it's again, the whole letting go thing is just letting it go free a little bit, rather than the emotional turmoil of a tantrum like this. It's more of just like an exhale. You know, you can't inhale again without exhaling. And then, so overall, I think that's been a theme with this too. And then with the compass card, similar to the whole releasing control and responsibility, you can't force a compass to point where you want it to go. It just, through the means that it does, compasses point to the north and everything. And so I think with that, you know, you can't force a compass to point. I mean, I guess with the magnet you could, but that's not the point with this. You're not going to be forcibly pointing the needle to a north position, you know, and that's going to make it north or whatever with the magnet or anything. So it's very much about like just letting things be, and letting it reset. There's definitely like a sense of relaxing and untensing. Anything else?
Nope. I think this is the conclusion of star number 2.
The Paper Star.
Thank you so much for listening to this reading. I hope it resonated with you. I hope we found it helpful in any way. If you would like a personalized reading, you can do so on leftoverstardust.com.
Find us on Instagram. Message us through there as well at We Are Leftover Stardust.
All right. Thank you so much, and we wish you luck on your journey. All right. If you have chosen the beautiful Obsidian Star, we're going to get started with your message.
Start.
All right. So for the first card from the Everyday Witch, we have the Four of Swords. The Queen Alice, we have the Fool. The Trip and Wait, we got the Three of Pentacles. For the Osho Zen, we have the Nothingness.
Which is distinct from nothingness. It's no thingness.
And from the enchanted map, we have the wide open. Alright, just give us a second. Be right back. Alright, so with the Four of Swords, the Fool, the Three of Pentacles, the nothingness, and the wide open, I definitely see your starting point in terms of wanting to thrive is the combination of these cards, especially with the Fool and the nothingness. And the wide open card. It definitely feels like you have a blank slate right now in your life, and it's very much about like you're starting on a new path. So it's kind of like with the wide open, it's like, okay, well, what do I gotta see? What kind of opportunities do I have? And with the Four of Swords, it's very much about reevaluating your options and, you know, where do I go from here if I'm in this new position in my life, and I can be whoever I want. It's very much giving, you know, like you wanting to reinvent yourself. You have nothing to lose. You're starting over in some way. And so you're deciding which colors you would like to paint your picture with is what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. This definitely gives me a sense of like going to sleep almost to see what dreams may come of it. A bit with the Four of Swords being, you know, a card of being at rest. The Fool card for this seems to me of like diving into the dream state, you know, and kind of seeing what dreams may be painted within your mind and everything. The no thingness card, like I mentioned, it's definitely not the same as nothingness. The no thingness is about possibility. It's about potential. You know, the infinite creativity of the void. Which is very similar to the wide open card. It's just I feel like it's two aspects of the same thing almost, you know. It's the shadow behind the light of the wide open. So for that, I definitely agree with the you know, picking a color and kind of rolling with it. There's definitely a sense of like that individual moment of like inspiration and creativity that I think is present here. I almost get a sense too of like being able to, like with the blank slate thing, is, you know, even starting over again. You've got the Fool card, Alice diving into the mystical rabbit hole here, and it's like, okay, you know, you see that they've painted a little bit here. Well, it's like, what if they don't like it? Well, then they can just erase it and start over again, you know, and there they go. And so I see this as being like about trying new things. Like with this blank canvas that you have at the moment, there's definitely a sense of like paint away. You know?
Are you ready to move on to the next set of cards?
I think so.
Cool.
For the next ones, we've got the Six of Wands here. For the Everyday Witch, we've got the Devil card here.
The Queen Alice.
From the Queen Alice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For the Trip and Wait, we got the Queen of Swords. From the Osho Zen, we have the Totality. And from the Enchanted Map, we have the Metamorphosis. Ooh.
Very cool.
Okay.
These are
All
very
right.
interesting
Give
cards.
us a moment, please.
Okay. All right. With the Six of Wands here, the Six of Wands is about like it's like victory. It's about being a champion in things that you do, accomplishments, accolades, that kind of thing. I think with this figure handing out flowers to the bystanders here as the figure moves through the crowd. I feel like that in particular with this, keeping in mind the like the blank canvas messages of the first set of cards, is it feels like this is I hesitate to say egotistical, but of just feeling that you have something to offer the world, that you have something to offer your environment, of having that sense of confidence, I think, as you move forward. The Devil card, I think, is it can be misunderstood, I think, a lot of times. In the Queen Alice Tarot here, you've got the Jabberwocky menacing the two twins, Dee and Dum, who are pointing at each other, if you notice. I think with that I feel like in the process of wanting to show that you have worth, of like with a blank canvas, there's and I know I struggle with this, is it's like looking at a blank canvas, a lot of people struggle to be like, well, what can I put there? And I think what this is encouraging to do is do something with it. I think with the Six of Wands, it's finding that kind of confidence. And I think what the Devil is saying there, in its own way, is not being chained to the consequences of the art that you put on the canvas, to continue with that metaphor, of not feeling entrapped. The Devil can be very much about like entrapment of different kinds. And I've heard the phrase like the tyranny of the blank canvas, I think, too, because it's, again, that's something that I'm not very much of a visual artist, but I think that there's getting too tied up with what can be rather than what is or what can be done, I think, is important. I think with the Queen of Swords going into that, it's that discernment, of being able to be like, this is what I want there to be, and I'm going to make it happen, essentially. The Totality card is about being in the moment. It's very much like with the whichever one. The Totality is very much about being present in the moment, and the totality of the moment is what the point of that card is. You notice the acrobats here, they don't have room to be stuck in their heads. They're very much like interwoven in that moment together of just being focused on their activity at hand, where they're all trusting each other and everything. And so I think with that is there's definitely like a flexibility that comes in there that I think flows through the rest of this too, of being able to be flexible with the actions that you take, I think, and that ties into the Metamorphosis card there as well, of having that quality of things changing, is definitely something that I see here a lot as well. I mentioned before, like with the Four of Swords and then these other cards over here as well, of having like that dreamlike state. The Metamorphosis card very much has that quality of being a little bit surrealistic, which works well with the Queen Alice Tarot. And then just visually, you can see the flamingos here. They have butterfly wings. There's some other butterflies. Queen of Swords also has butterflies over here. And, of course, butterflies are a very powerful symbol of change, of metamorphosis, of evolving from a present state to a more advanced state, a changed state.
Yeah, so what I think with the Metamorphosis card, the Devil, the Queen of Swords, and the Six of Wands, I kind of see like it's suggesting, and this kind of goes with the crystal Obsidian, if you know anything about crystals. It kind of has a transmuting kind of energy about it. So it's about transmuting any negative things in your life, or things that can be perceived as negative, and kind of transmuting that into something positive. And I think the Queen of Swords, that's all about discernment and knowing when to cut maybe these negative things off, or again, like the Metamorphosis is saying, transmuting that. And I don't know if this is related to your situation. Obviously, this is a collective reading. But I definitely do get the message of like change is going to happen regardless, I do see that with the Four of Swords beneath the Six of Wands, it's that, wanting that success for whatever your dreams are, right? But I get very much of like, you need to focus on, like, keep your eyes on the prize and be less focused on, I think, like, how it's gonna happen. Like, I don't know why with the Devil, for me, with the two boys, pointing at each other, it's kind of like they're too focused on who to put blame on, or who to, if it's related to success, who to, like, who's going to take credit. It's more of like, I think with the two sixes with support, if your journey does involve other people and sharing the same dreams with other people, I think it's less about who won, who had the last turn in battle and won the battle. Then I think it's more important just to focus on that you have the same goal. And I think that's what the totality as well is, that this person is trusting the other person to catch them, right? And so I do see a sense of needing to have a common goal if this does involve other people, and just picking and choosing your battles, and don't get too attached to things that are that could potentially like bog you down. The Devil could just represent old limiting beliefs, whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah
Definitely.
Anything else, or do you want to move on?
I think it's just worth pointing out that, again, like the two twins here, D and Dom, and then you've got the two flamingo flies there, reflecting each other as well. So just little bits of imagery here and there that I think are in commonality. Like the totality card and the Devil card have similar backgrounds. So, clouds and clouds.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Let's move on. Got the Ten of Pentacles, the Everyday Witch, the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. For the Queen Alice. The Seven of Cups for the Trip and Wait. The Courage with the Osho Zen. And the Peaks of Joy. Alright, just
take a look at those here.
Yes. Alright, so in regards of these cards, the double Ten of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Courage, and the Peaks of Joy, reeling that back into the whole reading about how can you flourish, right? As a person, how can you thrive? I think with the Ten of Pentacles, given that there's two, it's very much saying that in order to flourish, like the Peaks of Joy, I think it's really, the cards are suggesting very much to try to go for, to have a more stable foundation for your ideas. With the Courage card here, the flower growing out of the concrete, it shows that you're a very, very resilient person, but it's gonna be, you're gonna be more fruitful overall if you kind of plant your dreams, right? Because the Seven of Cups and the Peaks of Joy is very airy energy, and the Ten of Pentacles, that represents earth. And so it's very much like you gotta get more of your feet on the ground in order to physically experience whatever it is you want to experience on this earth.
Yeah, I definitely see that quite a bit as well. Like very strong foundational energy of the dual Ten of Pentacles there. I see them as like a bit different of kinds of stability as well. The Ten of Pentacles here with the Everyday Witch feels much more of like practical stability, like home, work, getting money, that kind of stability where it's like more of the day to day, making sure those kind of needs are met. The Ten of Pentacles here from the Queen Alice feels more of like your like self care, comfort, stability, where it's like making sure that you're taking care of yourself outside of just like the physical mundane stuff. It definitely seems to me to be it's not just about the physical stability. You could have all of this and not be mentally stable very easily, and I think the Seven of Cups here kind of reflects that a bit. If you look closely here, there's some hippie drug paraphernalia there in the cups and stuff like that. So I get that kind of going along with this as well, of again making sure those self-care needs are met, to make sure that you're doing okay and being able to again, to thrive. It's necessary to have your feet on the ground, but also be able to
I think when you have your needs met, then that's when your mind can wander and be like, oh, okay, well, I have my needs met. Well, now I can think about other things that I want to do. And I think it's hard to accomplish your ideas if you don't have the basics met. And I think with the courage, the resiliency, it's like you've been able to like always get through things, but it is really suggesting that if you want to flourish, to get these more like basic needs met so that you can explore in other ways.
Yeah, definitely. I think what the courage card too is, it's having those roots planted in these two kinds of stability. You've got like the two flower buds there. One of them's bigger than the other one, but they're both growing out of the same earth, right? So I definitely get that reflected there too. Like having your roots planted in everything and then being able to float in the breeze there. And that kind of makes me think too of like the whole hierarchy of needs thing, which I think is definitely has room for additions in there, of course. But I definitely think that there's a sense here of like, you'll do better if you have your feet on the ground, and being able to have that freedom of space to be able to express creatively the things that you want to express. Like you were saying, there's definitely like, Peaks of Joy is very much flying in the clouds there, and then you've got the Seven of Cups here, where all of these 7 cups of different kinds of there's some psychedelics in there and some other stuff too, but it's like different aspects of I guess like sensual pleasures would be a good way to put those somewhat. It's just being able to manage that too, and I think that again, kind of going back to the dream state that I mentioned at the very beginning there, that definitely seems like that's still in here as well, of maintaining that mental creativity and stuff, allowing yourself room to dream creatively.
And I think maybe if you are coming from a blank slate, it is hard to imagine like, oh man, I have to start over, I have to grow roots again, I think that can be a difficult thing, but I think it might be suggesting that it's okay to dream about something long term, like owning a home or and whatnot, and maybe that would take years. Any sort of projects, long term projects that could take years to actually accomplish. I think it's suggesting that you should still go for it, regardless, and even if it does take longer because you are in a kind of a blank slate kind of stage. It's saying that you can accomplish all that you accomplish, and the quicker you get to like planting your roots and figuring out, you know, what you want to do and where you want to create that safe space so that you can grow, I think you can have a lot of fun and flourish. So
yeah, I definitely think that there's something to be said for that as well.
Any last messages?
Yeah, there was definitely something here. Hold on. Like the time is going to pass anyway. So it's like, you know, even if you are starting off at a blank slate and everything, like a blank canvas, and it's hard to, you know, picture yourself having, you know, a full painted canvas with, you know, a home and stability and everything else there. You know, it's definitely worth making brush strokes, metaphorically and everything like that, of, you know, the time is going to pass anyway, so it's, you know, it's better to take steps forward in the present now, which again goes back to that totality card of being in the moment, and putting your all into it, you know, is of having that perspective of, it's not this individual brushstroke that matters, it's that it's adding on to this canvas that is going to be beautiful one day. So, one brushstroke at a time. And maybe you'll have some inspiration from various psychedelic substances to really add to your dream state there and everything. So, yeah. So take care of your practical needs, take care of your mental needs, hold on to your dreams, and really, I think make that a part of the canvas that you have in front of you.
Yeah, I think that concludes this reading for the beautiful Obsidian Star. I hope this reading resonated with you. If you'd like a more personalized reading, you can book a reading on our website at leftoverstardust.com. If not, we hope to see you in the future for more of these collective readings on YouTube.
Also find us on Instagram at We Are Leftover Stardust. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everyone that has watched this video, our very first video here on our Leftover Stardust YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, I guess.
I'll link all of our links in the description below. And we hope to hear back.
We hope to hear from some of you on our website. You can email us if you feel like it. You can find us on Instagram if you just want to chat.
TikTok for mini readings. Whatever you'd like. Have a good
Thank
day.
Once again, I'm Alejandro.
I'm Valeria.
And we are
Leftover Stardust. Bye.